have the 30-degree incline dumbbell press. Now this one is in alignment with all of the horizontal pressing principles, meaning, right, whenever we set up against this bench here, it's important for us to squeeze our shoulder blades not only together behind us, but to squeeze those shoulder blades down, or to drop those shoulder blades down, all right? So we're gonna keep the shoulders back and down the entire time, even or especially as we extend our elbows across our body, right? Because as we extend those elbows, that's where we're gonna be the most tempted to round or shrug those shoulders. But we have to intentionally keep those shoulder blades back and down for two reasons. One is to protect that shoulder joint. May not feel discomfort in the time being, but this over time is just something waiting to happen, right? And then two, to maximize the effectiveness of our exercise, because when we have that scapula retracted, we are putting our chest in a stretch position, and now our chest has to work that much harder to contract. All right, our body's gonna force itself or desire to do this because it's gonna want to cheat or make itself efficient or incorporate other muscle groups such as your shoulder. But we want to intentionally isolate so that way we can build that big, nice chest, man. Come on, man. So go ahead and set those dumbbells towards the edge of your leg, right, towards the knee. That way you have a little bit more leverage when it comes time to kick them back. Now from here, I like to lean back a little bit before I kick them. And in this position here, I find myself with my shoulder blades down and back and my chest proud, all right? Now my intention here isn't to drive my hands up. My intention is actually to drive my elbows across my body. Boom. Now from here, you just want to have your elbows somewhere within 60 degrees. Anywhere within 60 is acceptable. For those of you with shoulder discomfort, you can stop at 90 degrees, right? Or parallel with the floor. For those of you with comfortable shoulders, you can go to whatever depth your shoulder joint will allow, as long as your shoulder blades are set in stone or set in place. Boom. So here goes the set. And notice here, my hands are at a 45-degree angle, matching my upper arm. So everything is stacked. All my joints are stacked, creating the utmost stability. The entire time, my shoulder blades are set in place, never rounding or shrugging off of that pad. Here we have the incline dumbbell press. So here we have the flat chest press machine. Now I happen to be at the plate loaded machine. There's also, of course, the stack loaded one where you just adjust the pin. Either or is going to be very, very similar. You just want to be sure that the angle or the degree of your press is going to be flat here. All right, so first we're going to go ahead and set up the height of our seat. So me personally, I like to keep my elbows anywhere within 60 degrees of my body, generally speaking. But usually I'm not too overly tucked on this press. I do like a little bit of flare, closer to 60, somewhere between 30 and 60. All right, generally speaking, I won't be flared at 90, only in a few occasions, right, where I'm specifically trying to hit certain parts of my chest, but typically around that 60 is gonna be your sweet spot. All right, so with that being said, I am a little bit too high on this seat. I want, ideally, the line of push, right? My forearm and this handle and the angle of the machine to be in nice alignment. All right. So now we're gonna set up our base, and our base is consistent with all of the horizontal pressing motions. So you're gonna have your shoulder blades squeezed together behind you and drop them down. And you're gonna keep them in that position the entire set, even as you drive your elbows across. And remember that this isn't a press forward, which would tempt you to roll those shoulders forward at the end, that this is a drive of the elbow across the body. All right, so we're driving both of our elbows across. So I got my shoulder blades back and down, got my butt back, and then from here, I'm gonna drive through that outer palm. Boom. Nice controlled. And for those of you with shoulder tightness or shoulder issues, you're gonna pause parallel to your body or parallel to your back. For those of you with good, healthy shoulders and good mobility, you can go deeper to whatever your shoulder comfortability is. Then drive those elbows across. So I'll demo for those of you with some tightness. Stopping parallel to my body, drive across. And notice, guys, with these chest press machines, I'm not going for the fullest extension or anything like that. I'm just looking for a contraction, right? Even if my elbows have a slight bend at the very end. Here goes a full set. Powering across, controlling it back. All right, so here we have our incline chest supported dumbbell lateral raise. Now I do like this one because it takes out a lot of, well, really all of your momentum, all of the cheating, and it forces you to utilize that delt to move that weight, all right? Now there's a few different ways that you can set up your lower body on this exercise. You can have one knee on the pad, either knee, doesn't matter which one, or you can also have both of your knees on the pad, all right? Either of these versions work. Depending on the day, depending on how I feel, I'll switch it up, all right? Now, we're gonna pretty much keep our stomach and our lower body against that pad. As we do our movement, we'll see we might have a little bit of freedom with that sternum being on the pad. All the principles remain the same as far as our lateral raise is concerned, all right? We're gonna keep those palms facing towards the floor. We're not coming straight out to the side. We're not coming straight forward. We're coming somewhere in the middle, a little bit more towards the side, all right? And we're gripping these dumbbells with our N3 fingers. Let's get into it. Boom. So, nice control on the way down. And notice here how this exercise removes a lot of my body English. So now it forces me to use that delt. Both feet up. And here we have the incline chest supported dumbbell fly. Another note, this bench position here. You guys just want to be sure to have this bench about one click from the top. If it's one of these traditional benches, if it's a bench that will actually get you at a full 90-degree angle, it may be up to 2 clicks from the top, all right? So here we have the reverse Pec Dec rear delt fly. With this one here, you're gonna take the traditional Pec Dec and go ahead and pull your handles all the way in that backward position, and we're gonna sit in the chair reverse. So as far as what seat height you wanna put your seat at, you're gonna wanna have your chin maybe no more than 1.5 inches above the seat height. So boom, right here is pretty good. Now what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna take the outer part of your hand and you're gonna wanna put that into the machine. Now I prefer to drive through that outer part of my hand than I do gripping the actual handle, generally speaking. And we're gonna have a full protraction in our scapula. So remember, retraction is when we're bringing our shoulder blades back and down. Protraction is when you allow your shoulders to round forward and go for a full stretch here, okay? And we're gonna maintain that protraction for the majority of this exercise. Your rear delts are such a small muscle group that you really don't need to move too much weight or do anything too crazy, because your rear delts are right next to your traps, which are a very dominant, very strong muscle group. So when we start moving ridiculous amounts of weight or incorporating a lot more momentum or even a lot more range of motion, you'll notice that the tension transfers from the rear delt to that trap that's just waiting to get in the game. So what we're gonna do, go ahead and protract those shoulders, have the side of those palms pressed into the machine here, and your chin is no more than 1.5 inches above the seat height. So from here, my intention isn't to bring my arms as far back as possible. Okay, that's a common mistake that I see. I want you guys to focus on driving your elbows away from your body. So, boom. And I'm driving them away while keeping the protraction in my shoulder. So notice here, it ends up being a very small range of motion. I'm trying to maximize my rear delt engagement and create a mind-muscle connection. All right. So driving through my side of my hand, driving my elbows away from my body, keeping that protraction. Small movement, so that way we focus on isolating those rear delts and not on incorporating the traps or the triceps or any other muscle group. And notice here how I'm keeping the same bend in my elbow as I drive, right? So I'm not increasing the bend at all. I'm not extending, creating a tricep extension. It's all just the rear delt working as hard as it can. So it's this tiny muscle back here that we're building, right? And there we have the reverse Pec Dec fly.